Hello. Let's take a look at all the progress that's been made since got this thing started. Okay, looks the same to me. What else we got? What's going on in here? There's a lot of shit everywhere. Ooh! Yeah, no, I've been taking shit apart. There's one thing I did was I recessed this shifter, as you can see. But, yeah, the thing had a dash pad on it, like I said before. And I really hate dash pads. They just never look good in my opinion. So, took it off and was greeted by this beauty. Look at it. Oh man. These cracks go all the way through, by the way, and look how deep they go. Right up to the gauges. So I'm gonna try to fix this. This might be the worst dash anyone's ever seen, but it can be saved. The main reason I did this, I figured I might as well, was because you can't really see it. Speedometer, tachometer, getting swapped with speedometer, 160, tachometer, 8K. These are the Speed Hut gauges, same as like what I got in there, except I got the cheaper gauges for this one. Figured don't really need a shift light or anything for automatic, and since I got all the proper transmission computer and all that shit, I don't have to use the GPS speedometer. I can use the actual speedo signal, and that's also cheaper and more accurate. One thing I noticed with the GPS speedometer, you know, if you're going around certain places, you'll lose GPS signal. Like if you're got big buildings around or just random places on the highway, do it too. So it's nicer to have the actual speedometer. Hopefully you can see, but this is a 77. It actually was pretty easy to get the dash off. There was 2 bolts from the steering column into the dash, and I unbolted the 4 on the floor so the column will drop down. There's a bolt on this corner at the bottom, same on that. And then there's these 2 little metal things there with 2 bolts on each side. And then there's these bolts on the dash. The hard thing is these corner ones. You cannot get at them unless you have like one of those little angular bits. Let's see, yeah, you see? One of these dealios, these universal type joint things. At least on my car, you can't get it off. Steering wheel, to get off, the horn button, you push it in and unscrew it. I advise you unhook your battery and all that, because yeah, there's wires everywhere. You don't want the horn blowing. And then it pops off, and then the steering wheel, you can either use a puller or you can put your legs behind it and pry it off. Do not smash your legs like real quick, like on there. I did that when I was younger on my old Camaro, and what that ended up doing was shattering the bearing inside the steering column. So I was driving around one day and the steering wheel just flopping around. I had to open it back up and replace the bearing. I swapped some brake stuff out. So I swapped out the calipers. Here's a caliper that was on there. It was sticking. Not sure if there's much you can tell from that, but it was sticking. This is the 240Z's rotor. I didn't swap it, so I wanted to be lazy. I might end up doing that because what I've noticed is the brakes don't like to engage until, or the car at least doesn't like to slow until I have the pedal pushed down a good bit. So I looked in the drums when my wife pushed the brake pedals, and they seemed to start opening immediately. So I'm guessing maybe the rotor's thin and it's not clamping on the rotor with the caliper until longer in the stroke or something. Maybe it's got something to do with the torque converter. There's just a lot of, you know, torque going to the back wheels and it's hard to slow. But yeah. Oh yeah, new wheels. If these are new, what happened to the 240s? These guys, Whitwood, that's right. Yeah, this thing needed some assistance in stopping department. So I got some 16 by 7s, a 225/50 tire, and these are like ultra performance. They're nice and cheap. All on 4 wheels, +4 offset. Probably could have gone as much as +10 with them. They barely fit on there, barely fit. You run into some, on one side it was just barely touching right here on like 45 degrees. So I just had to push it a little bit in. But yeah, just barely. But yeah, that's what's going on with this guy. It's shifting real nice now. The issue was I was about 5 quarts too low. Yeah, I kept looking at the dipstick and it kept saying it was like in the cold region, like a bit away cold. So I was like, okay, I guess that's fine. And then, you know, I was having a shifting issue, so I was like, what the fuck? So I added a quart. It was still in the same reason. It was still in the same region, the cold. So I added another quart, another quart, another quart, another quart, another quart, and then it was up. So then it started shifting good. Yeah, this thing's smoking the tires now. Absolutely smoking them. Yeah, right now I'm gonna work on that dash, get that speedo up. I don't think it's gonna be driving, you know, in this condition for a while. So I'm going to take my hand at dashboard repair, see how that goes. Ordered some like fiber flex, it's called, filling rods and some dash pad filler putty and all that shit. So hopefully you'll see that and it will go and turn out well. Yeah, that dash is pretty fucked, so hopefully I can save it. It looks nice from this angle, you know? But yeah, then you come to the top and it's just like, ugh. Yeah, that's that.